I'm shooting this video today as a response to many people that just don't seem to quite understand the success behind many of my operational devices. And it's really quite simple, so I want to show it in this manner. This is a machine that I built quite some time back. It's very simple. It's not meant to try to produce over unity. However, it may be in some way. You can take a look at it when we operate it. But this is a spinning rotor, and you can see it's just got two sets of arched neos on it. And on top of it here, I put a 10-pound steel weight. Yeah, it's steel, not foam. And just to show that actually this can rotate and turn this much weight. The bearings that the rotor is on is just some Lazy Susan bearings. It's just real cheap. And all this is an activator here, kind of a activation method to give you the repulsion of these as they come around. Let me spin it to this point here. And really all it does is I've got the two wires going into my battery box, into one of the ATV batteries. Typically I have a battery pack that I just set right here, and it's AA batteries because this solenoid is just so small. It'll take up to 12 volts, but you can't run it for too long with a lot of power from even an ATV battery because it wants to warm up just a little bit. So the AA's work really good. But all it does is this is just so mechanical. I tried to keep solid state circuitry out of this totally because if there's ever a problem, if you've got an over unity device and it's got a lot of solid state electronics and there's some kind of an EMP or whatever that's going to just blow that circuitry, keeping it mechanical as much as possible, it's still just going to keep on cranking. So this was really mechanical. I mean, I've got a little micro switch here, and what it does is you can see the strange shape of this thing, and as it rolls around, it engages, clicks, and then it comes off and engages again. So you can see what it's doing. And every time it engages, let me pull this past, this pulls in from the solenoid, pulls in, puts a little power, pulls in, and it's just like taking a magnet and using a hand motion on a rotary device with neos on it. And really, if you're looking for over unity, there's really only two ways that are good ways that you're going to come by it. And one is high frequency resonance, and the other is just a simple mechanical rotary device that employs neodymium magnets. And I think for replication purposes that's the simpler way to go for most people. Most people don't quite have the education that they'd like to have to work with high frequency power. So let's spin this up. Now I have to, this is very crude. I have to spin it with my finger and get it going, especially with a 10-pound weight. Not necessarily so without it, but I've had up to about 30 pounds of steel weights on here, and it still works up to 30. But I've just got this 10-pound on there, and it's pretty heavy, and so I'll just spin it up and then just connect the power. And you can see it working. I know it's very Rube Goldberg-like. I don't know if you've ever seen any Rube Goldberg devices, but they're mechanical, they're funny, they're, one thing's like a mousetrap game. One thing leads to another, and that's kind of what this does. And round it goes, and pushing that 10-pound steel weight while it does. Of course, it's a balanced situation, so it's not that hard to do, but like I said, it'll push up to 30 pounds and just goes round and round and round. And there you have it. That's it. Yeah, put coils on it, do this, do that. Well, this is one of my just demonstrator devices, just to show the concept of the power of the repulsion of just a permanent magnet against another permanent magnet. I mean, look, just driven by just the pulling of this little solenoid, this tiny little solenoid. That's pretty darn amazing. It would go for days. It would just run and run and run. It hardly draws anything. Run. Okay, there you have it. Thanks. let's disconnect it. Watch it spin. Listen to the micro switch. Crazy, isn't it? It sure proves the point. That's what's operating a lot of my equipment. The fact that you're pulling that force field out of these permanent magnets and utilizing it in a way to, gain an over unity condition, or close to, or even just high frequency if that's what you're into. See you next time.